In this quick recap, I would like to repeat the steps we took to create this type of a pipe construction. As the first modeling step for this chair, just all the pipes. The challenge here is to recreate a structure that looks very organic and bent, very complicated. However, you have to keep one thing in mind. As a designer, you can create whatever you want, but there also has to be somebody who has to build it later in manufacturing. So the clue or the trick is to still utilize very basic building blocks, so you can give the illusion of something that's complicated, yet make it very simple or effective, manageable for manufacturing. So you see these pipes are all bent only along one direction, not two directions. And then this part here in between, well, that one, yeah, there we have to use a different approach. Then we blend in between this pipe and this pipe. So this goes back to what I also mentioned. If something looks very complicated, don't get distracted by all the problems. Try to see the building blocks and then break it into smaller problems. Chew on the smaller ones, and then step by step you will see how something was created. Okay, so because these pipes are rotated, we cannot use the offset plane. So we have to use the plane and an angle command. And for that we need a nice layout first. So let's make a new design, and inches, new sketch there. Let's zoom out and I will plug in some lines there, 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 and there. And let's make this horizontal. From the beginning I want to make this sketch also centered to my world or my sketch center point. So midpoint to midpoint, midpoint to the center point. Great. So this is very important that this one is centered at the center and not aligned to the left or the right side. Then we can plug in some dimensions, 17.5, 16.5, whoops, 16.5, and then here this one, that actually should not look this way. It should be an aligned dimension, 19.5 plus minus. Okay, and we can add a little spacer, maybe 8 inches there. Good. With this sketch we basically defined the front and the back points where the pipes hit the ground. Now the pipes will be rotated, so we need to create inside the sketch a little bit of geometry that can help us with that. So maybe one line there and maybe one line there. Okay, perfect, good. If we want to make this a little bit more readable, here this, we just make into construction lines there. So let's maybe start with the front leg. So now we can go ahead and say plane at an angle. Click this one, and then based on how it's rotated, in my case I have to rotate it 90 degrees. Let's also follow proper naming. So this is front leg. This is maybe floor layout. And then on this plane now we can create a new sketch, and you see it lines up, so we have it rotated. Perfect. Now I want to be able to start my sketch here at this point. So 3D include this point, then I can hide the sketch. So now I know where actually my leg should start. So I can press S, use the spline command in case you do not have it added yet. You see this way you can add the spline command to the toolbox, and then we can move it to where we need it. There, click, click, and click. Okay, We want to dimension this a little bit. So this should have maybe 1.5 inches. And then the question is how much this one will be. We can check this in a second. We can sculpt this leg a little bit there. Okay, let's go back to maybe front leg. I want to check the height I have. 24. Okay, so 24 inches, and there we are. So if you want to have a little bit more control, so here you see I played basically with these points, so there it goes straight down. I could also say, you know what, here, move this one to there. This one I would like to vertically constrain. So now this handle really goes vertical, and I can extend this out a little bit. And you see this way I straighten the top part slightly. And then this one I can move down, but be careful how much you straighten it. You don't want to create into something like this at the bottom. So maybe there. Okay. Perfect. Goodie. Looks good. So this is now our front leg. And there you see now it rotates along the plane along this line. Good. Let's make another sketch. This time we need to make first a plane along this line. Also there again 90 degrees. Make a sketch. 3D include this point. And then there we can make the other shape. Okay, perfect. So here the same jazz, so we can specify the height, say maybe 25, and we can specify the distance, maybe 1.5, and then this one we can move in. There we just make a nice bend. Perfect. Good. Maybe I want to make this one 3 or 2. Okay, good. This all can be adjusted afterwards anyway. Let's click stop, and now we see, if we take a look from the top, we have these two splines. And when we go and create a pipe, maybe with an inch, right click, repeat pipe, click OK, and there we have these objects. Nice. We can maybe for the moment turn on the mirror command, select these two mirrored along this one, so I can see maybe how this looks. Not too bad. Okay, good. Well, we can delete. And before we continue, I will move my time marker actually in front of the pipes because I want to create some more sketches. So this is the back leg. There. Good. I need now to have a sketch that can be used to create the backrest. There you see this backrest is actually also at an angle. So I need another sketch first to create a plane along. Okay, so that's the reason also why you really want to work with your layout sketch perfectly centered to the sketch center. Because now I only need to go to the side. I can make a sketch there. Let's say I will call this one side profiles, because we can dump a lot of sketches into, or geometry into that sketch. Maybe from there to there, down. Okay, I would like this one to be lined up, this one to be lined up, this one to be construction, and then let's dimension this, maybe 12.5 or so. Perfect. Good. And that's fine. Okay. Along this line, now we can create another construction plane. And that's the correct orientation. Good. Let's go ahead, create a sketch on here. This one and this one I want to hide. Go into top view because now I need to figure out, well, how do I want to create maybe this back arc? So I can work with a sketch, a spline, and just put 3 lines down. But now I want to be able to make sure that left and right halves are perfectly symmetrical. I can somewhere, either from the center or somewhere to the outside, I like doing it this way a lot, so they're away, make a line, X to construction, and then I say this line is vertically aligned to the center point. So you see now this is perfectly centered. And the line also has a constraint, so it's a straight line facing the world center. Good. Now with this done, I can say U and U with the symmetry along U, and then it adds the symmetry. I also want to make sure that this one is always at the center, so vertical constraint. Let's add here a constraint, so this is always horizontal. Now I can, for example, belly this out a little bit. Okay, good. I can, let me show you this when I select this point and maybe move it, go to here and select this point. I can also apply a symmetry just to the handle points, so that this way if I adjust one side, see the other side updates. Quite nice. Okay, this is now top backrest. Okay, we're getting pretty close already, so there's now unfortunately currently one problem we have to deal with. So let's pipe this. And now we would say, okay, so blend loft from there to there. So we could say loft this one to this one, smooth and smooth. And oh, this is really interesting. No, it seems to work. In my case before it didn't really work. Let's hold on. We can adjust this a little bit more and make these transitions a little bit nicer. But yeah, you see there the pipe changes its cross section. It's not really a perfect pipe anymore. So this is a quick solution, but unfortunately this doesn't work. So we have to do something different. This I can delete, and this I can delete, and I go one step to here. Show me the backrest and the side profile. There, and what I will do now is create a 3-dimensional sketch. And the backrest is the last object I created, so I can go into the backrest sketch, and now I will 3D include this one, so the back leg. So you see now this is down there. Make sure that under options you have 3D sketch turned on, and now I can press S, go to spline and say from this point, go to this point. Okay. So I connected, you see these two curves, and then via the smooth command, I can say U to U, make a smooth transition, and then from there to there, make a smooth transition. So this is pretty good. Only problem is you see it shoots out too much. So escape, click on the spline. There is the handle. Select it, right click, activate handle, and then we can click on this point, M, then move it up. And you see we shorten it and we pull the curve down. Okay, good. Nice and smooth. And that's pretty fantastic. You see this curvature or the shape we can really see at the beginning here before it blends into this line. This is actually a 3D line. A projected 3D included sketch. When we press F, we can actually hide it, so I don't have to deal with it all the time. And to show it later, you just go over it and press F again, and there it is. Could also make this a construction line. Okay. Perfect. So, stop sketch. Let's show the back leg. And what we have now is a continuous sketch. And now we can, that's the reason why I deleted the pipes. Go with the pipe command. Click, click, and there we are. Now the question is, well, what do we do here? You see there's actually, because this is a nice symmetrical shape, there are snap points now. So I snap right to this midpoint. I only need this half. And then I can go and say modify. Here at the end, modify, mirror, and say you and you, mirror along there. Okay. And then combine this one together. Perfect. See? Really nice and smooth. Great. So this chair has actually a cross connection here between this leg, and then these two arcs are connected. And that is why I have actually this line here. So the sketch, side profiles. I can go into the sketch there, and I can see the front and the back leg. And now I simply draw another line, maybe like this. Just kind of like describes from where to where later I would like to have the connection. So this line, maybe I can X, will just be a construction line. And let's show the sketches. Another plane at an angle there. Okay. So this is what we have. And now I would like to create a C between this leg and its opposite, this leg and its opposite. So how do we do this? First, let's create a sketch. Then we will go to intersect and copy over the intersection of these two splines with the new sketching plane. And you see, then we can create somewhere a horizontal line. Say you, please be symmetrical to there. Not symmetrical, vertically aligned. Can make this a construction. And now we will use the mirror command and say you and you, mirror over this line, and basically we'll make a copy and then add the symmetry constraints to it. There, perfect. So now we have left and right, left and right. All we need to do is spline, click, click, and spline, click, click, click. Then we want to make sure you and you are okay. Then we can define maybe the distance. I will not add any dimensions right now because the sketch can't really move a lot because I have the symmetry and the vertical constraints. So the shapes don't change, and without having the dimensions added, I can always go ahead and later change the proportion via drag and drop. When I'm done and I really like what I have, then I can go ahead and say, okay, now you all will be dimensioned. For example, I could say you and you a dimension maybe 2.5, and then you and you should also be 2.5. Perfect. Goodie. That's it. Now we have actually, as you can see, the pipes. So we can go ahead, pipe, U, and we want a new body. And let's zoom in. Does it line up? Nah, it perfectly intersects. Okay. Technically speaking, that can be a little bit tricky to line up this pipe with this pipe because, well, they all have the same diameter. So what we could do is, here we say, make this a little bit smaller, and you see then we have a nicer intersection. So we will do exactly the same with the back. And also new body, 0.9. Hold on. Let's go to here. What's the dimension? D37. Okay. There. There. And D37. See, it copies over the dimension from the first pipe. And then one more pipe here. D37. There. Perfect. See? Pretty awesome. So, and if we go to the side profile, and let's say, remove this one, there. Everything beautifully updates. And it does it because we find this one point while it cuts this other sketch, and then we mirror it over, and then we can draw a 3-point spline in between. So that's kind of like the way how you can construct something like this. Okay, one last thing is missing, and the missing backrest. So we have this side profile thing here. I want to create another line. Actually, this line probably should be horizontal. Okay, good. Now I can move this one up and down to decide where maybe I would like this one to be. Let's say like there. Technically speaking, because I'm not going to rotate this one, I could use the offset plane to move this one up because this plane is horizontal. But let's say maybe later we want to rotate this at an angle. So let's do that. No, that's the wrong one. Side profiles here. So this one we delete. You go up, you go a little bit down. There. So now this looks a little bit more dynamic. Okay, for example. Good. And this is actually maybe the leg connection sketch. There. Okay, and then one new sketch now on this new plane. And also I forgot to name those. Lower backrest. This is actually leg connection. Never forget doing this. It saves you a lot of time when you have to read your design when you come back. Which one is this one? That is back leg. Okay, goody. So we do pretty much the same here as well. So we have a sketch created, intersect with this one. Okay, and this is lower backrest. We can make a line somewhere. Then let's make this one to there and select the line construction, and then we can do the mirror U to U. Okay, good. So before I continue, there's another thing I would like to show. This one we will project down. So I will use the project command. Where is it? Oh, I do not have it included. Project there. And with this one I can project the sketch, as you see, straight down. So I see kind of like if I want to make a vertical connection, where do I not have to put my sketch? Okay, perfect. That's all I need, because now I can say spline from U to U to U. Okay, this one lined up there, and maybe here belly that out. This is horizontal, and this maybe a little bit, and this maybe a little bit. Symmetry, these two to that one. Okay, I want to try something. So if I offset this one, how does this look? That's the shape. Okay, now this was interesting to see. Yeah, okay, never mind. This kind of gives me an idea how, when this one is shrank down, how would this look like? Are there some sort of intersections? Let's keep it at this for the moment. Perfect. So last step, another pipe here. D37. New body. And there we are. You see? Pretty easy peasy. Not very difficult. So this, for example, right now is pretty terrible. So that looks really not very comfortable. So what we want to do then in this case is, well, we have to maybe adjust this a little bit, and this maybe bring it over, maybe scale this a little bit. And you see, then this actually gets more parallel to it. Maybe bring this over a little bit. There. Ching. And you see, if we have to connect a backrest surface in between, this will fit better. Fantastic. Okay, and that's all for this weekend's homework.